Oh, hello! You may be wondering what I have in my hand right here. Well, in spite of Godzilla Week, I have decided to review the only Godzilla toy I have. Well, a pretty expensive toy. Costs a pretty penny, but more on that in a bit. The SH Monster Arts 1989 Godzilla, or as some people call it, Biogoji. Now, if you're wondering what SH Monster Arts is, let's get into a brief history for just a moment. Switching on history mode. SH Monster Arts started out in 2011 with two new figures, a Godzilla figure and a Mechagodzilla figure. However, they were superposable and articulated with ball joints all over the place. With accurate sculpts from Godzilla veterans like Shinji Nishikawa and Shinichi Wakasa from Monsters Inc. and many other Japanese creators, the Japanese toy company Tamashii Nations and Bandai, the Bandai Premium Toy Company, created the SH Monster Arts line, a premium line of Godzilla figures and other monster figures. For years, they made figures of, well, Mothra, King Ghidorah, many others. However, if there was one thing that was prominent in their line, is that it was focused mostly on Heisei era kaiju. However, with all the Heisei era kaiju out of the way, it basically allows more popular Showa kaiju to come into the limelight. I mean, you want to please the people, well, give the people what they want. But they weren't done with the Heisei era just yet. After all, the only Godzillas they released for the Heisei era was the Radai Goji design, the birth version of Godzilla Jr., and two variants of Burning Godzilla, and also a 1993 Nororoshi Orai poster variant of Godzilla. Never had they done the early Heisei era look of Godzilla, specifically Biogoji. Now, of course, this is the suit nickname that Goji fans give certain Godzilla suits. Like, the original suit was called Shodai Goji, and how this suit was called Biogoji because it was obviously inspired by Godzilla vs. Biollante, the suit that they used in the movie looks exactly like this, but I tell you, it was way bigger and probably more comfortable. It's marked as one of the best Godzilla suits of all time, and also one of the best Godzilla designs of all time. Although yet I beg to differ on that account, but overall, SH Monster Arts actually released a figure like this, but way bigger, a KKK or triple K figure that of the same design but bigger, and the first six dorsal plates, well, the first three on each row could light up with a battery pack, and this was actually something that the suit did, but obviously they could not include it in the small toy, and yeah, to really put it lightly, this figure it's very expensive. It was a pretty penny. And actually, fun fact, I actually got it back in February. So this is like the first highly articulated figure I've gotten. If you're wondering why I'm poking at the camera too much, is because I'm filming this on an iPhone. And sometimes it likes to fade in and out, so do beg it. The pardon. But to compare it to something of a little bit more exquisiteness, hold on, it'll be a quick sec. Told you it'd be quick. This is the Hammond Collection Bary. It's another super articulated figure. However, where the baryonyx can cost, it costs around $20 to get. I mean, like, it's very cheap, and yeah, I mean, like, it's cheap. It's good, and it has like 17 points of articulation, but it doesn't really use ball joints. Now, if we look at the Godzilla 1989 figure that SH released, hold on. It has articulation out the wazoo, and yeah, it costs a pretty penny. It costs $90, which is exactly $70 more than the Hammond Collection Baryonyx. And you'll pretty much see why I think this is a very, very okay figure. And yeah, what does do it for me and what does not do it for me. And some of the mediums. By the way, I probably won't get another of these for a long while, so savoring this moment while I can for you guys. But don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get along with this review. It was already long intro. I promise you the review will be very quick. Now, as far as SH Monsterarts goes, the sculpt, it's 89/91 Goji. I mean, come on, the sculpt is good. Although there are some gripes that I have with it. Let's get to the positives first. The texture is nice. It's very nice. It's very malleable. We'll say that. However, there's one gripe. There's a few gripes that I have with it. One, the brows are not thick enough because on the suits the brows were really thick, so it doesn't really sell that one front view, that anger expression, because like from the front it looks good. It looks good. Okay, I won't lie. It looks good, but like any other angle, it's not gonna get that menacing look. Like if you want to like get like a menacing look from like every angle, like in the eyes, well, I'll get to that when we get to the paint apps. And if you want to make an angry expression, like make the brows thicker. Another problem with the sculpt is that, well, these two areas are at different points. The shoulders are at different points, but yet again, that's probably a factory error, but yet again, it's a sculpting error as well. And yeah, that's all the gripes I have with the sculpt. And I give the sculpt a 7 out of 10. And now let's get to the paint. Now the paint is beautifully applied. I mean, like you got a charcoal black and you know, all the normal necessities that a Godzilla figure would have. Okay, but the paint is really good. What are the gripes I have with it? Well, there's far more gripes. One, the eyes are like somewhat like fish eyes, like, you know, like bulgy, silly. Yet again, this is 84 Goji. We're talking about it's supposed to be angry, like somewhat like that, but that and the eyebrows really just don't sell it for me. Next is like on the knee right here, there's like a little messed up paint, like right there. There's like a little messed up white paint. I don't know if that's just my figure or it's a problem on every figure, but definitely like a factory screw up. Not I'm gonna have to patch that sometime soon. Now, also, the paint on the dorsal plates is incorrect, because in the films, like any Japanese Godzilla movie, it's like a white color. It's like a white coloration. Okay? It's like a whitish coloration, like a bony white. And also, I will say, I don't know if it's like sloppy or not, but you really think you could have, like, no, I don't know, like, make Godzilla like a little more black, because and the camera doesn't show it, but like it
It does have that charcoal black, but I needed like a darker charcoal black. Yet again, I gotta fix that. Paint apps overall 6 out of 10. Not as bad as the not bad, but the articulation is a tad is next, and oh boy, do we have some gripes here. Okay, so we got a articulation here at the top of the head. We have a jaw articulation, and we have head segments. Now, of course, this part of the head, it's very tough to move, and also you have articulation here at the shoulder, articulation here at the elbow, articulation here at the wrist. No articulations at the fingies. Same on the other arm. Thigh articulation, knee articulation, and feetsies articulation, or is that an ankle? I don't know. Correct me in the comments. But anyways, that's the articulation. And then the tail. The articulation, they're like, like here, is like articulation here. I mean, it's all on the tail. And then there's the waist, which is the hardest to articulate, considering that you literally have to force it. And that will lead us right into the gripes. Some of the parts can come loose at any time, like this. And yeah, but they're easy to attach back in. The ball joints can break, but if you can find replacement ball joints online or just 3D print them yourself, then good on you. Now, another one of my gripes is that the waist, like I mentioned, is stiff. So I would recommend covering a Q-tip in dish soap and going around there and like letting the soap like loosen up the articulation. And then the tail. Oh man, this is a can of beans on its own. Actually, for one of the recordings I did, like for this video, I actually lost the tail, and I actually didn't do this for like a couple weeks, and then I just came back to it. But yeah, also it has like one of these little parts right here, and they can get lost. In fact, they actually got lost down there in one of my recordings. But the tail is like multi-segmented, but yet again, like the tip of the tail, like it could use bendy wire. Overall, 6 out of 10 articulation, although the fact of it popping off, it bumps it down a little bit to a 5.8 out of 10. Now, for example, the Baryonyx, although having 17 points of articulation, but not as much as this figure, it has double jaw or jointed articulation at the what do you call this part? I don't know. You get somewhat of a ball joint feeling right here. You have articulation here, here, and here. Now with the tail, instead of it like being multi-segmented like with SH, it actually is a bendy wire, which is more great because like you can now pose it in any way you want. I mean, like you don't have to worry about segments of the tail popping off. And yeah, really SH should take a page out of this. But as far as accessories go, none, but I did make a makeshift atomic breath. Fit right there, and the cotton balls are just like used to make the impact on the ground look more realistic. But overall, the articulation, I mean, accessories like 0. But let's just get to the final verdict. And it may not be what you think, but it's my opinion. And oh boy, this was an interesting can of beans. You know what? I think I like this figure. Aside from a few gripes, this figure accurately represents 89 Goji, 91 Goji, whatever you want to call it. But it's a good figure, okay? It's a good figure, but I do have gripes with it. The articulation is sometimes, like, the ball joints could come loose, but that's really just like being fragile with it. But there are some gripes, like with the stiff waist and some of the paint apps being a bit inaccurate. But otherwise, what would I rate this figure? I would rate it a 7 out of 10. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, my rating is not the best rating, but neither is it the most accurate. But it's SH. I mean, like, come on. The lack of accessories really holds it back, but otherwise it's a good figure. It's just been held back by some factory errors from SH. I mean, like, there are some better figures, like Destroya. I mean, there are better figures, I will say, but so far it's not really selling me why there is an SH Monsterarts craze going on. I mean, like, recently there has been like a reissue of the 2002 Godzilla. There's also going to be a new Gigan, also another version of Shin Godzilla. God, who knows? And yeah, a lot more. But anyways, that's my video of 1989 Godzilla, from Godzilla vs. Biollante and Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. So, what do you think? Is my review the accurate review, or do you want to watch some other review? I don't know. Promise this thing is coming. Don't you worry. I will do it. Please stay with me. I will do this in the future, as well as also other Hammond Collection reviews. I mean, like, yet again, I mentioned that I got the Hammond Collection Dilophosaurus. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and a comment. Just argue with me if you think this figure is good or bad or in between. And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel. I mean, like, come on. I mean, like, that's what that big red button's for. It helps me... Well, it helps me basically stay up on YouTube. And for now, my friends, long live the Skrills, and Godzilla Month will continue with a kaiju video on a scrapped Heisei Era Godzilla kaiju. But for now, bye! See you guys soon!